Hello, hello, and welcome to your January Mindful Movers Flow. As always, please listen to your body. Anything doesn't feel right, doesn't make sense, please reassess, make a modification, take a moment, pause, go to child's pose. You can always feel free to reach out to me with any questions on the Mindful Movers social account or to email mindfulmovers5678@gmail.com, mindfulmovers5678@gmail.com. That said, and along with that, also please keep in mind any injuries, anything you're caring from, of course, caring for. That aside, today we will just flow through, build some heat. This time of year is a year when a lot of people are thinking about goals and intentions and resolutions, right? So we'll be thinking of that, but maybe putting a little yoga twist on it. Okay. All right. So let's come down to the mat to a Supta Baddha Konasana. You'll be in a butterfly shape, right? Bottoms of feet together. And your back down. If you have props, that could be great. Books, anything could be to support for just above, just behind, your knees. And you're taking a moment, just settling in. Stay right there. Just going to get up so you can hear me a little more clearly. In your lying diamond pose, the Supta Baddha Konasana, taking a moment and just noticing what you brought to practice today, what your body might be telling you, what you need, what you do not need. Maybe there's an intention, a goal, again, particularly this time of year, that you bring to mind. I will offer this. In that quest towards the goal, intention, whatever it might be, can you bring to that adaptability, maybe even joy and wonder, right? That spirit of, it might be cliche, but I think it is so valuable, really the journey and not the destination. Can you enjoy the journey towards growth? Maybe something to keep in the back of mind, practice today, maybe beyond. Little food for thought. All right, please, as you're ready, bring your knees into chest. If any movement feels good here, you could rock back and forth, make a circle with your knees. Up to you, yogi's choice. And then please take a figure 4, crossing your right ankle just past and closer to your hips, and holding on the back of your left thigh. So your right ankle is crossed over your left thigh, not the knee, just south of that. And maybe it feels good to hold behind the thigh. Maybe it feels better to place that left foot down. What do you need? What do you not need? And wherever you are, on your next breath, I'm going to take a half happy laughing baby, holding on either the inside or the outside of that right foot, with the right foot pointing up to the sky. Maybe you extend your left leg long. Maybe you keep the left foot down. Again, yogi's choice. What do you need? What do you not need? A few breaths here, just observing what's there. You want to play with some nuances, you could gently feel your tailbone point closer to your mat, so you have a little bit of space between your low back and the mat, and your right hip gently guiding towards your right heel, in and down. Good, breath out, you can let that go. Let's take both those on the other side. So crossing left ankle just above your right knee, So not on the bony part of the ankle, just above that. Right? You don't want to put any direct pressure on joints themselves. Good. Again, you can hold behind this right thigh. Maybe you put that thigh down, especially beginning of practice, or if it's early in the morning, if you're feeling a little tighter. You had a big rehearsal yesterday, a lot going on, right? Maybe what you need is a milder option. What do you need? What do you not need? Couple more breaths. Maybe noticing what's there to find. On the quest towards something, what can you discover along the way? Maybe there's joy and wonder, adaptability and openness. As you're ready, please your left foot to the sky. Maybe you extend this right leg long, feel a little openness through the hip flexor on this right side. Maybe it feels better to keep that foot down. Again, maybe you feel your tailbone pointing a little bit more towards your mat and your left hip guiding in and down towards your right heel. Maybe that appeals to you. Lovely, and you can let that go as you are ready. Don't let me rush you. If you're in a good spot, stay there. We'll cross ankles and roll on up. However many times feels good to you. And coming to a tabletop pose, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Tailbone to the sky, belly dips, roll those shoulders back. Moo cow pose. Tailbone dips, bring your back up, let your head go. Kitty cat pose, meow meow. Rolling through a few more times. Taking what you need. And maybe you bring in your own movement here, looking back at your feet. Maybe you take barrel rolls. What can you discover? Can there be joy and wonder in that discovery? All right, as you are ready, beginning to come to stillness. I'm getting warm, which is part of the point. That's great. Coming to a plank pose. As you're ready, I want to quickly reinforce what I've talked about in these classes before, the Hasta Bandha, the hand lock in yoga. Fingers spread wide like a starfish, but not too wide in between thumb and index finger. And when you find that, feel a pressing down through every fingertip, every knuckle, almost like there's also a suctioning up through your palms. Here. Stepping back, shoulders roll back, biceps forward, triceps back, plank pose. Front body feeds into, supports your back body. Maybe your hips lift just a little bit. Last little detail, maybe you look forward just a little bit. Both back and front of neck are long. On a breath out, hips to sky, down, down. Ooh, starting to build some heat. And maybe you walk out your feet. Maybe that feels good. Maybe stillness is what you need today. Please, as you're ready, your right leg to the sky. We're going to take right knee into chest, scoop it up. And right knee to outside of your right tricep. Ooh, building that heat. To center, maybe pull up just a little bit more. Feel the core engage. Breath out, foot in between your thumbs. Whew, that's a doozy. Big breath in, reaching up to the sky, low lunge. Let's interlace the fingers like so, and then palms reach up to the sky. Good. Pressing down through front heel. Your right hip gently guiding back, soft in front ribs down. Big breath in. Breath out, maybe side bend towards your front leg, towards the right. Breath in, maybe a little more length. Breath out, maybe a little more softening into stretch. Breath in up. Breath out. We're going to take this into a twist. Your left hand down, right arm up to sky. Can you soften through that left shoulder? Breath out, top arm swims in and down, both hands on inside of front leg. I'm gonna turn around just so you can see me more clearly for this. A little complex, not too bad. You're gonna then please, from where you are, take your left foot to the right edge of the mat. So it's going to the other edge of the mat, and then your hips are open towards your left side. Left arm swims forward, up and back. Hips again are open to the left. Torso, however, faces the left as well. This is a modified warrior 2. Bending deep into front knee, feeling the openness through the hips. And please, top arm goes forward and back. Exalted Warrior, stay deep in that front knee. What is here to discover? Breath out, forward and down with both arms. Your left foot towards back of mat. Big breath in, breath out. We're going to shift to half of a split. So my right toes are right up to the sky. Easing into the stretch. Breath in long. Breath out. Can you soften just a little bit? Maybe you don't go as deep as you can into the stretch, but rather support with your musculature. Could be an option. Could be a very good option, especially if you're hypermobile, like many dancers are. Couple more breaths in the stretch. Awesome. Coming forward. And I'm going to switch around. Again, you can stay where you are. And taking that front foot back, you're going to knees, chest, chin. So by that I mean knees are down, sort of a half plank shape. You drop your chest and then roll heart through. So your belly is on your mat. Pressing through tops of feet, inner thighs up to sky. Belly pulls away from your mat. Shoulders back, lift your heart, baby cobra. Maybe a locust would feel good. Taking your arms back, getting that space through the upper body. And let that release. Wonderful. Please place hands right under your elbows as best as you can estimate. Pushing to plank, or you could come through a tabletop, hips to sky, downward facing dog. Lovely. All that on the other side. So raising that left leg up, knee into chest. Draw that belly in and up. Left knee to outside of left tricep. Back to center. Foot in between your thumbs. Breath out. Whew, it's a doozy. Big breath in. Arms forward and up. Low lunge. Pressing through front heel. Your left hip guides gently in and back. Soften those front ribs down. Let's again interlace the fingers. Palms go to sky. Big breath in tall. Breath out. Can you side bend towards that front leg, towards the left? Wonderful. Breath out. Let that go. Hands come down. Right hand down, right arm. Either swim it up and back, or you could peel up to the sky. Get to your twist. Breath in, maybe you get a little longer. Breath out, maybe you twist just a bit more. What is there to discover along the way? Breath out, top arm forward, down. Again, this right foot, we're going to take it to the left side of the mat, so the hips are open towards your right side. Right arm goes forward, up, back. Modified warrior 2. Stretching deep into the hips, feel this opening. Top arm goes forward, no. Take that in that front knee. Exalted warrior modification. What's there to discover? Can you be open to that? Arms swim down. Your right foot goes towards back of mat. Big breath in long. Breath out. Shift back half of a split. Breath in long. Breath out. Maybe find a little softening. Now a couple breaths. Maybe you come up a little higher and really support with your musculature. Again, especially perhaps if you are very mobile, hypermobile. Good. Lovely. Coming forward, weight into that front foot. And this time we're just gonna step with the back foot to the front foot. I'm gonna back up just so I can make sure you can keep seeing me. Reaching up to the sky, hands at heart center. My head might be cutting off here. I'm gonna move my mat just a little bit. Good. Couple breaths here, standing tall in your mountain pose. Grounding through the balls of your feet, the big toe mounds just south of the big toes, but lifting through your arches, those insteps. Inner thighs draw back, tailbone drops. Shoulders roll up and back, and your front ribs soften down. Couple breaths here, just noticing again what's there to discover. Lift your chin up just a little, tall and proud, aligned and stable. All right, we're going to take a variation on what we just did. So here we go. Reaching up to the sky and then fold your hips. And please, your left foot back, coming up to a high lunge. Again, interlace those fingers, palms to sky. All those principles we talked about in the low lunge, again here. Breath in long, breath out over to your right. Back to vertical, and then give it a swim to your twist. Top arm forward, down, both hands on inside of front feet. I'm going to turn around again here just for a better visual for you. Back heel goes down. We're going to take that left arm forward, up, back to warrior two. Adjust your feet if you need, either heels in a line from front to back or front heel in the middle of your back arch. Bending deep. Maybe lift this front hip a little bit off that front thigh. Couple more breaths, building that heat. And then up and back. Reach that arm. Again, I might be getting cut off. Apologies. Wonderful. Arms in a line. You're going to tiptoe your back foot just a little bit forward for a little bit of a shorter stance. Hip shift back and then reach for your favorite candy. Setting up for a triangle pose. Good. I like to press against my front thigh just to feel my torso going back, being aligned with the hips. Another great option is to use a block on the outside of that front leg. Breath in long through your spine. Breath out. Maybe you can soften into that length a little bit. Another couple breaths. Lovely. You're going to swim that top arm forward down. Support with your hands to come back to a lunge. I'm going to shift again, just again for the visual. Stay right where you are. Grounding into your left hand, you're going to come onto outside of left leg. Reaching up, side plank. Maybe this is enough here today. You can even also drop that bottom knee. Maybe you play with a tree here, a tree version, right? So the top knee going up to the sky. Always yogi's choice. Good. Bringing that down. You can go right up to hips to sky, down dog. All that craziness on the other side. So left foot in between your thumbs, please. Cheat it up if you need. Big breath in, arms reach up. High lunge, so you're always welcome to drop back knee. Less can be more, right? Interlacing fingers, palms to sky. Big breath in. Breath out over to your left. What can you discover? Can you bring joy and wonder? Can you bring openness, adaptability along the way to the goal? Breath in, rising. Again, take it to your twist. Left hand drops, right arm up to the sky. excuse me, right hand drops, left arm up to sky. And breath out, top arm forward and down, both hands and inside of front leg. Dial your back heel down so it's on an angle. You're setting up for warrior 2. Right arm forward, up, back, arms coming right out from your shoulders. Lift a little through this front hip so you're not surfing forward, lifting up off that front thigh. Warrior 2. Bending strong into that front knee. Maybe you look out over those front fingers. Maybe you feel your front ribs soften towards your hips, especially if you know you have a mobile back. Tendency can be to throw out your chest. Just like in dance, that throws you off balance. Big breath in, breath out. You can straighten that front knee. Will probably feel very good. Up and back. Exalted Warrior. Lovely. Windmilling. Ooh, excuse me, never mind. Tiptoeing your feet forward. Shift your hips back. Reach long. Triangle pose. My hand is up here. I think the camera's cutting me off again. Top hip drops, bottom long, maybe up towards that top arm, however. Little twist through the torso. Could be a fun little something to play with. Couple more breaths. Lovely. Top arm forward down. Again, support with your hands to go back to your lunge. Grounded into right hand. Side plank. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you even drop your bottom knee. Maybe you take that tree version, top knee up to sky. Up to you. Good. And now we can flow through. If you have a chaturanga in your practice, you can take that. You can, of course, also come all the way to your belly or the chaturanga. Maybe to up dog or cobra, flow in your way. Hips to sky, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here in your down dog. And as you're ready, you can jump, hop, or take little steps. Feet to hands, forward fold. Belly strong, rising up. Hands to heart center. Lovely. I'm going to face you. We're going to do a couple balance poses from here. We're going to keep rolling on. Of course, pause the video, take a rest, do whatever you need at any point. Wipe sweat, drink water, your practice. So we're going into a tree pose. Right foot, you could bring it up. You could do on your thigh. You could press into ball the foot that way. Totally great, right? What you discover along the way, being open to that. Not the destination itself, right? That's what we're focused on in our yoga. Hands can come to heart. You can spread your arms up. Probably can't see my hands, but they're reaching up to the sky. Lovely. Couple breaths here, wherever you are. And then we're going to cross that ankle just above the knee. Funky chair variation, right? You could stay upright. You could fold forward a little bit if you want. Reach hands to the ground. If you are an experienced yogi and you have the arm balance in your practice here and you feel warmed up enough for that, that is an option, right? It's a shorter class, so I didn't as much build and prep for that in the body, but if you feel confident, go for it. Maybe you let your head go and breathe here. So this is a chair, right? We're just changing where this leg is. Big breath in, breath out. Please let that leg drop in front of the other so your ankles are crossed. Let it all release in this variation on forward fold. Maybe you reach towards the right. See a little opening through this IT band. The iliotibial band can get very tight in anyone, but especially dancers. Right? Couple more breaths here. Lovely. To center. You can uncross. Belly strong, raise up to the sky. We'll take all that on the other side. So your left foot. Maybe pressing into the thigh. Maybe you go a little lower. What you discover along the way, not where you ultimately get. It's cliche, but so true. Couple breaths here. And then from where you are, sitting back into your chair, but first crossing that left ankle just above right knee. Funky chair. Couple breaths here, taking the variation that feels right for you. And then as you're ready, crossing ankles. Maybe you reach towards the left here, if that feels supportive to you. Lovely, coming back to center. Good. And from there, you can rise on up, uncross your ankles, and we're gonna sit from a chair. Sit, belly strong, heating up a little bit. You can feel good in these cold months while we take appropriate rest, of course, as well. All right. Lengthening, please, your left leg long, right ankle crosses, right at the lower part of your thigh. Let's hug around. If you know this variation and that feels better for you today, that's of course welcome. Breath in long, breath out. Maybe you feel a little more twist. Couple more breaths here. Lovely. Breath out, come to center. Left foot on the right foot on the inside of this left thigh. Tiny bit of twist to face this right leg. Breath in long, breath out, folding over that front leg. Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose, though it does not your head does not need to be to your knee for it to be the pose. Maybe, again, you don't go as deep. And you really support with your musculature, right? You feel that low belly coming down first. Maybe a tiny bit of curve in the upper spine from there. Breath in, length. Breath out. Can you soften? Lovely. On a breath in, coming on up. Shake out, wiggle out, do whatever you need to do. We're going to do both those poses on the other side. So crossing the left ankle just above the right knee. Sitting tall, hug around, or if this variation feels better to you, go ahead and take that. Okay. Breath in tall, breath out. Maybe you twist a little bit. Maybe you lift your chin a tad. That nicely aligned neck. Another couple breaths. Lovely. Breath out to center, uncrossing. Left foot to inside of right thigh. Mini twist to face your leg and breath out, folding over. Janu Shirshasana. Feeling that low belly come down first. Maybe a little bit of curve in the upper spine from there. Breath in long. Breath out. Maybe you feel a little bit of softening. Lovely. Breath in, come on up. Wiggle it out, shake it out, whatever feels good. And we're going to come down to the back. Good. So setting up for bridge pose, a lot of people, proper distance of your heels away from your bum is if you can tickle your heels. For me, it's a little bit farther out just with my proportions, longer torso, shorter legs, right? Maybe that's you, maybe not. Set up in the way, helps you feel aligned. Grabbing sides of mat, right? Feet hips distance apart. Inner thighs stay activated in towards each other, though they're not touching. As you pull on opposite sides of the mat, tailbone going to heels, right? Rolling up, keep pulling like you're trying to pull the mat apart. Not going to happen, but that's the action, right? To get your shoulders under you. Maybe from there you release, interlace below your back if you know that, and that feels good. Couple breaths, raising the hips, opening through the heart, shoulders underneath you. Feeling your heels dragging back towards your bum, right? They're not going to move, but it's that action that's going to stabilize you. Couple more breaths. And breath out, vertebra by vertebra, rolling on down. Good. Let's take a constructive rest from here. So knees knocking into each other. Feet are as wide as your mat. Couple breaths here. And just noticing. Lovely. As you're ready, taking your feet back together, we're going to shift hips a little bit towards your left, coming towards your right for a twist. You could cactus your arms, reach your arms out. I have a little space constraint here, so I'm just going to put my hands on my body. That feels supportive to me right now. Couple breaths here. Looking the opposite way from your knees helps to counterbalance your spine. So my knees are going to my right here, so I'm looking to my left. And then maybe my head softens back into my mat. Good. Breath in, knees come up, hips shift to center, and then to the other way, hips shift to right. Knees fall to your left. Twisting the other way. Breathing here. And breath in, knees come up. Let's take that Supta Baddha Konasana again. So bottoms of feet together, knees go to wide. Maybe you support with props if you have them. Again, could even be books in your house. Breathing easy here. Another few breaths. We did this pose at the beginning of practice, so maybe you notice how you feel now as compared to when you last took this pose. And when you are ready, on your own time, please do not let me rush you. Go ahead into your final rest. So lengthening your legs long, let your arms go as wide as your mat, past your mat, wider than. Legs lengthen wide. I'm just sitting up so you can hear me. Stay where you are. Breathing here, knowing that the work is done. You can just be. Maybe noticing, is there joy and wonder along the way, discovery, openness, adaptability towards the goal. All that work done, you can just be here and breathe. If you're in a good spot, maybe you stay there. Please, again, don't let me rush you. If you have the time and you need a longer rest, please take it. Otherwise, you can roll onto one side and come up to a seat. Take hands to heart center. Last few breaths just to notice. Breathing deep. From collarbone to pelvis, all that beautiful space that we as humans do have for breath. And as you are ready, hands to third eye center, and we bow to the teacher and the student within. Thank you so much for joining me in your January Mindful Movers flow. Wishing you the best, whatever you got going on, rehearsals, etc., just taking class, whatever you got going on this month. I hope it's wonderful. And we will see you back on the mat next month. Thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.